much better. Bam, bam, bam. Oh my gosh, where's the... What the heck? My whole setup's getting dim. Guys, I'm getting AAA batteries. What's good, Mike? Oh, AAA batteries. I keep forgetting. What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, Zhao? What up, Mike? Senator Arabians Tonka. Oh, Instant Crush? Instant Crush? Hey, yo, run those likes up. I'll be right back. AAA. Oh, right. Got the laptop, test strips. Bust this out real quick. Oh, 3 only. What up, y'all? I don't know, bro. I never smelled Instant Crush. Oh, it's all good. I have. Watch the video watch the podcast we just put out on Mancera. Mancera's founders is a daddy-daughter duo with the last name of Montal. And so when they split off, Arabians Tonka was made. Same house, just split up. There we go. Can we go white? What the heck? We'll go blue. Okay, I guess we're going blue tonight. Blue to Chanel. Green. We could go green, but I don't really like just blue. I like the aqua blue. All right, guys, what y'all got for me? What y'all got for me? Hey, guys, I want to give you guys a little secret, okay? I may or may not tease the giveaway tonight, maybe. If we have enough people, maybe I'll tease the giveaway or some information on it. What y'all got for me tonight, man? Y'all got any questions or anything? What's up? Y'all act like y'all happy to see me or what? Come on. What y'all got for me? Yeah, watch the pod. It just dropped on Monday. See, y'all gotta turn your notifications on, man. I'm telling you, like, I be dropping gems for y'all, man. I'm telling you, man. Listen, there's gonna come a time. The channel is growing fast. Like, we skip past the 3K. We're about to be at 4K in like a week. I say my channel has about 3-4 months left before it's 10K. And then when I get to 10K, we're out of here. We're out of here. Like, I'm going to be not as accessible. The comments are going to get too lengthy. You know, I won't be able to tap in as intimately with everybody, you know? So get your me time in while the channel's still small, you know? I'm just letting y'all know. Have you tried Rare Reef? Of course. SB, I've got a formal coming up on Saturday. I need to smell like the best guy there. What you got? Well, don't worry about what I got. What do you got to smell like the best? Give me your 3 best fragrances and I'll give you which one's the best. Unless you got a Sephora or an Ulta Beauty near you, then I can't really throw anything else at you that you'll have by the time you have that event. I just got myself the EDP, been between the two. I was wondering if I should just get Le Parfum or Absolute Flanker, but I cannot pick. Which one do you think? Which one? Which fragrance, Francisco? You didn't even say the name of the fragrance. YSL myself? My bad. My bad, bro. You gotta understand that sentence looked crazy. YSL myself, EDP, or Le Parfum, or Absolute. I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Actually, no, there is a definitive way I can answer this for you. Give me 1 second. Sometimes when I'm a little bit slower than ChatGPT because sometimes I have to remind myself of certain things because I've smelled so many things in a given week. Sometimes what you think you know, you're like, wait a second, is that? You start cross mixing certain memories of fragrances. By the way, we finally read up on our Terre d'Hermès, guys. I've been out of that for too long. It's an OG in my collection. Finally read up on it. It never gets old. If I'm feeling frisky, maybe we'll give a travel spray of it out in the giveaway as well. But I'm gonna be honest, the giveaway is already stacked. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, the giveaway is stacked. Okay, let me see what I could dig up for you real quick on the YSL myself conversation. Dang, is my thing out of battery? I have to take my charger out of this thing. Hold on. Give me a second, buddy. Normally I'm quick draw McGraw with the answers, but you asked a question that kind of requires a little bit of digging. Why do we got losers? Why do we got losers, man? We got losers for real. Come on, don't you know I have bots in here? Bye, loser. Okay, YSL myself. I just need to be sure that I'm sure here. Okay. One more. Yeah, so the reason why this is a hard thing to answer is because Absolute is out of the question. It comes down to Eau de Parfum and Le Parfum, and both of them in terms of like enjoyability are going to be almost about the same. The only differences with them are subtle. in terms of the projection and the richness, either one of those are great choices. I tend to believe that you're going to get YSL EDP the cheapest. So part of me says get YSL EDP because that and Le Parfum are the best ones, and you won't notice a difference by much, enough to where I think saving your money is better. So put it like this. If you look on discounters and Le Parfum is within $15 of distance from the EDP, then get Le Parfum. If not, just get the cheapest one and stick with the EDP. Both of those are bangers. Ignore the Absolute. Thanks, mods. What's the best Guerlain for men or women? Guerlain vetiver is I agree. I mean, Guerlain vetiver is nice. We're gonna be at a restaurant and then walking around the mall. It's gonna be about 70 out. I need to know what you have. I need to know what you have. Tell me what fragrances you have, not what you wish you had. Anytime, Francisco. Anytime, buddy. Sorry it took me a while. I thought I knew all the note breakdowns for all three, but I had to reacquaint myself because it's been a while since I've been through the entire line of myself. I most recently tried the Le Parfum again. So, you know, I go back to these designers a lot and refresh myself with the scent profile, but I needed to make sure before I don't talk about fragrances that I don't have. So with those, I don't have two of the flankers. So I needed to remind myself my experience with them in the Sephora's and check all that. But yeah, EDP and Le Parfum are going to be great. I tend to believe that the Le Parfum is going to be a little bit richer but quieter on the projection. Slightly different profile, but very close to the EDP. Both are good, and I think both are so good that really you should just go with which version can you get the cheapest. And I tend to believe that the EDP will be the cheapest because it's been out the longest. Yeah, Mike, do you have a Sephora or an Ulta near you? Or like, what's the deal? Like, do you feel like your collection sucks and you need to go buy something before that event? Or do you have a couple that are in mind and you just need it narrowed down? Is there anything close to Coromandel? No. I don't think so, dude. I mean, Coromandel is special. Coromandel is a fragrance that you should have in your collection if you're even mildly interested. It's one of the best patchouli scents ever made. It's one of the best chocolate scents ever made. Normally, fragrances that go chocolate patchouli are kind of sexy date night fragrances, which Coromandel is, but there's an executive, expensive luxury to Coromandel that no one can really catch up with. It's a super one-of-one scent. There's a lot of scents like it, but truly when you're wearing Coromandel, you are wearing a fragrance that has an insanely high compliment factor, super uniqueness. You're never going to run into anyone in your life wearing Coromandel unless you know you've got big money. And I just think it's something that you need to have in your collection. Nothing else will come close to it. If you have that fragrance, you really don't have to shop for anything chocolatey or patchouli at all. You could live off of that fragrance. It'll cover your date night. It'll cover anything formal. It's seductive. It's intoxicating. It lasts forever. It's great. Anything like Coromandel, not to me, but Fragrantica will tell you that some of the closest things to it would be Xerjoff Richwood, which I do agree with somewhat. It's not Coromandel, but Richwood would be a solid alternative. But the price retail is so close, I would just get Coromandel. You're definitely not going to get a clone that puts you in that wheelhouse. And I'm just keeping it real with you. Some scents you just can't clone. My best banger is Molecule Iris. Really? Really? Molecule Iris is like a base. So, I mean, in and of itself, it's not a banger, but maybe if you're speaking in terms of like, this fragrance goes with so many combos, maybe it's like your all-time quarterback. I could rock with that. Guerlain vetiver is really nice. You know, watch my video on Roja vetiver to see me break down all of the top 10, top 15 vetivers that I rock with, and that I think there's a lot of vetiver redundancy in the space. Everything is either sparkly, clean, bright citrus vetiver or like super purist, woody, earthy vetiver. There's not a lot of fragrances that sit right in the middle, which is what I think you need, because if you have too much vetiver forwardness, it's not mass appealing. If you pretty up the vetiver too much, then it's not really a vetiver fragrance, such as Elysium and stuff. Guerlain sits more in the vetiver purist category. The parfum's definitely better than the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Toilette by miles. I think it's mid-tier. Guerlain's vetiver is definitely mid-tier. When you compare it to Lunar vetiver, even Guerlain's Aqua Allegoria Neroli vetiver Forte, vetiver Sensuel from Mancera. I mean, I just think it annihilates. It does exactly what Guerlain vetiver does, but better, or it outclasses it. Roja's vetiver as well. But I think if you're a vetiver lover, Guerlain's vetiver you have to have. But I do think vetiver Sensuel kills, you know, the Ancre Noir series. It kills Guerlain's vetiver. To me, it kills Roja's vetiver. It's just that middle of the road vetiver purist / bright, uplifting, modern take on it. It's the most mass appealing to me. You know, $70, 120 ml. You factor all that in. Are you going to try the new LV Phantasmagory? Of course. I tried the new PDM line and it was buns. Of course it was. I mean, look at the bottles. It's McDonald's. You know, chicken nuggets, fries, and a toy. That's what those 3 fragrances are. Honestly, wasn't the biggest fan of Platinum Egoist. Have you tried OG Egoist? Yes, OG Egoist is beautiful, and it's way better than Platinum Egoist. If you want Platinum Egoist, then just get Legacy from Latafa, Legosi. That's a great rendition of Platinum Egoist, but I've always been a fan of original Egoist. And I've only seen one other person agree with me on that, which is Bowtie. But yeah, you know, I just think it's the most natural, it's not doing too much. I'm doing beautiful. Good to see you guys. Lana de Lome, myself, Epic, LMLP Clone, Del Mar, DHI, Arabian Tonka, Bugatti Amber, Jet Black Intense. So I'm going to say, if you're outside, go Del Mar or Dior Homme Intense. If you're inside, go La Nuit de L'Homme. Thoughts on Tom Ford Private Line? Amazing. A lot of great stuff. Some of those probably won't work in the 70s, but I'm going to tell you all my bangers. Okay. If you're unsure of what you want, I always say just grab Versace Pour Homme. That's like one of the safest, great smelling fragrances. Yeah, I mean, if you want to smell safe, you know, I mean, I believe that if you want to smell safe, you might as well not even have the fragrance on. Just take a nice shower. I mean, that's the safest thing you can do, is wash your butt crack. Thoughts on Atkinson, Her Majesty Oud Triple Extract? Haven't tried those yet, Obi. Guerlain L'Homme Ideal EDP, that cherry almond champagne. Beautiful. Scent of the Night, Deshawnay Caragaz. Beautiful. Best men's rose frag right now for me. The best men's rose right now, and it is always subject to change, is Taif Oud from Roja, with a close tie with Baranda from Naso Mato. Any dupes of OG Egoist? No, there isn't one. There isn't one, buddy. I'm sorry. But I mean, the good news is original Egoist on the black market or third-party market, you know, your Mercaris and stuff, you could snag up Egoist, you know, for probably under $60, which I think it's worth it. You know, after that, you kind of are going down into like CK Everyone EDP territory, you know. Best designer of all time, I got Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. You mean designer or like an actual fragrance? You mean, oh, best designer fragrance of all time? I don't know. I have too many fragrances to care. Tobacco Honey by Guerlain is so good but so expensive. Also tried Heritage. Yeah, I mean, Heritage is cheap. You can get Heritage for like 50 to 60 bucks. But you know, Heritage, there's a lot of fragrances that evolved from Heritage that is like, you know, for instance, L'Instant de Guerlain is a much more elevated Heritage. So it's like Heritage is a good smell, but once you try the big boy stuff that's made after 2020, you'll kind of feel upset because you're wearing uh, Heritage and you feel good about yourself. And it's kind of like the Phantom when the Bugatti pulls up next to the Phantom. When you were driving the Phantom, to everyday people, you look expensive. But then when the Bugatti pulls up, you're like, oh man, okay. When it comes to ballers, I smell average. Legacy Xiao is spelled Legosi. Legacy. And that's Platinum Egoist, not regular Egoist. I think CK Shock and Burberry London smell the same. What's your take on it? I would never recommend either. And don't think I'm being bougie because I have CK1 and I've smelled the entire CK line. I think CK1 is a cheapy designer masterpiece with insane layering potential. So I'm not hating on cheap designers, but I would never recommend London or Shock. I know people like Ross, TLTG will recommend to you guys CK Shock and tell you it's a super slept on cheapie, but honestly, it's rightfully so slept on. In 2025, you don't need to, for the money you would spend on CK Shock, which is around 20, 30 bucks, you can buy anything you pretty much want under the sun in terms of Clone World and cheapy designers. 30 can stretch you a long way today. Can you do some tier list videos in the future about different scent notes or houses? I think that would be really cool. We've already started doing our house dives episode type, which is where we do deep dives on houses. We have one out on Mancera, Ferragamo, and I think one other house. As far as notes in perfumery, I'm dropping an ebook on notes, and I have a couple other surprises with that. So that's definitely coming in on the future. Right now we're doing house dives. Notes will come shortly after that, probably around the first quarter of 2026. So I appreciate you asking. That type of content's definitely coming. You guys got to understand, when I first started, my goal was to do 1,000 reviews before I do any top 20s and conceptual videos. I was going to drop a video on this, but it had too much toxic energy in this. But basically, in the future, I'm going to do a lot more of the viral searched terms and concepts in perfumery. Right now, I want 1,000 fragrance reviews in my vault before I pivot to that type of content. And we're almost there. You know, we're 900 plus in. So in less than 2 or 3 months, you're going to see the channel content change a lot. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it. Is Absolute Aphrodisiac worth the price? I'm 15 and I love it, but still deciding if it's worth it. You know, if you're at a point where money is really important and you're stuck with one fragrance for a while after spending that kind of money, I feel like you should work your way up to it. Absolute Aphrodisiac is worth the money. You know, it's intoxicating. Any girl that smells you with it is going to think you smell incredible. It will have your date night, your fall, winter, and your nightlife covered. Like, you won't need to wear anything else. But, you know, I think the cheapest you can get Absolute Aphrodisiac for today in today's market is somewhere between $160 and $200. So, you know, that's like 3 designer fragrances. So I'll give you an ultimatum, and you choose what works best for you. You could either get Absolute Aphrodisiac, right? Or you could literally take that same $150 and go buy Gentleman Reserve Privé from Givenchy, Eros, Dior Homme Parfum 2025, and you could probably squeeze in there something like, you could definitely get those 3, but you might be able to squeeze a 4th fragrance in there, like a clone or something. So you could get 3 designer bangers for the price of 1 absolute aphrodisiac. And at your age, any of those designers will still smell super expensive. Club Black from Mercedes-Benz. But I think the holy grail of date night fragrances in the designer category is going to be Dior Homme Parfum 2025, Givenchy's Gentleman Reserve Privé, and Valentino Uomo Intense. There's plenty of other great date night designers, but I think that that's the holy trinity. Have you tried Zion by Alexandria fragrances? Yes, I have. I'm not a big fan of Alexandria. I feel about Alexandria the same way I feel about Dua. It's very 50-50. Some of the fragrances they make are good, some are terrible. I've never really smelt anything that's phenomenal. By the way, there's 27 people in here. Hit the 3 dots right here or right here, and that'll pull down a menu, and hit the thumbs up button to drive out all the trolls from the channel. I'm not coming back till we hit 15 at least. Ugh. All right, cool. Glad we did that. Best niche for my taste. Browsing and was interested at some Le Labos. I like to wear Armani Code EDP, Gentleman Reserve Privé, Spice Bomb, Prada Black, Polo Red, Coral Fantasy Events Cologne. Mancera would be a great choice based off of those interests, as well as some big boy stuff like Serge Lutens. So I would say Serge Lutens, City Rhythms, and Mancera is your next upgrade into niche. They'll be affordable for you. They'll cover all your fun stuff, your date stuff, and your serious stuff. And you won't ever pay more than about $100 for a fragrance. Would Del Mar work inside and outside, or would you just go with La Nuit de l'Homme to play it safe? Del Mar will work anywhere, but you got to remember Del Mar is made to be somewhat tropical. So the question is, how serious do you want to be? I always felt like La Nuit de l'Homme was serious and sexy. Del Mar is just playful but luxurious. So it depends on what your attitude is going to the event. Do you want to deal with luxury playfulness? You know, because you're going to smell tropical, so you're going to kind of smell like, you know, a fancy hotel or something, or beachside. Or do you want to smell serious and sexy? If that's the case, go La Nuit de l'Homme. Is that Imaginary Authors? I do have 1 full bottle of Imaginary Authors. The rest that I have are samples. But the only one I've felt the need to buy so far is Slow Explosions. A lot of people... Imaginary Authors is a house that everybody likes different things. So I would never tell somebody to buy this fragrance because it's very unique. You know, this is like Tom Ford Oud Wood with red wine drenched on it. You know, apple, saffron, red wine, mineral notes. It's different. No, the ebook's not out yet. And remember, it's not just 1 ebook, it's 5. It's a 5 ebook collection, and it's special. Right now I'm working on securing and encrypting the documents so people can't easily rip me off and re-release it as their own material. So bear with me, guys, it's coming. Wasn't it you that did a short, what? Wait, wasn't it you that did a short about your ebook? Yes. No, I did do a short about the ebook, but when I explained the ebook, I was saying what's in the ebook. I didn't say the ebook was out. If you guys were a part of the last giveaway, I did give out 1 page from one of my ebooks. So some of you guys out there do have 1 page out of one of my ebooks. I teased that to the audience, which I believe was my top 100 S-tier clones. I think that was a page I gave out. But yeah, the ebook's not out yet. Your suggestion for the best signature scent for a guy in his early 30s, all all year round scent. Yeah, of course. Tell me what your favorite fragrance is as of right now, and I will give you that'll be my reference for my recommendation. What's a good fruity fresh scent for a guy? Fruity and fresh would be a lot of stuff. Kajal 3 is like $110. That's grapefruit and citrus in a basket. Long lasting, lasts forever. It's like Tigar. You have obviously any of the LV Imagination clones, not Aqua Dubai, Game of Spades, Full House, or Aqua Dubai. It's going to be a great Imagination citrus basket aquatic luxury smell. You have Elysium, or FOMO Fragheads Asylum, which is a clone of Elysium. You have Kajal Lamar. You know, you have Instant Crush. You have Amberful from Mancera. You have, there's a lot of options actually. There's a ton of options. I already have 9 designers, 3 niche, and 2 private line. I was just wondering if it's slight for a 15-year-old to wear. I don't know what you mean by that, but if you're just asking if a 15-year-old can wear Absolute Aphrodisiac, yeah, you're going to look a little bit older than 15. You're going to look more like an 18-year-old wearing it, but it's still amazing. You know, it's not too manly for a 15-year-old. It just smells expensive as hell. So, you know, if you already have niche fragrances and you're already doing the dang thing as a 15-year-old trying to smell grown, that fragrance has enough sweetness that it won't not make sense for you to wear it as a 15-year-old, but you will still smell expensive. So don't try to wear jeans and a hoodie and then throw on Absolute Aphrodisiac. You're going to kind of look like you stole your dad's fragrance or something, you know. But if you dress the part, you know, collared shirt, or at least you try to dress up fancy, you know what I'm saying, in your best outfit, then yeah, you can make Absolute Aphrodisiac rock. But as a 15-year-old, if you're going to like a party or something with your friends and you're trying to hit on girls and you wear Absolute Aphrodisiac, it is going to be a little bit too much. What's your thoughts on Zion from Alexandria Fragrances? Good. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's average. There you go. Absolutely, Mike. Anytime. Scent of the day, Gucci Absolute. Beautiful fragrance. Have you heard of Aqua de Gio Special Blend? I have not. What's your favorite city rhythm? I'm not big into city rhythms right now because I feel like city rhythms is cloning a lot of ideas, even though their story and brand is really original with the places and stuff like that. There's a lot of amazing city rhythms. I just don't feel qualified to really point you in the direction because every city rhythms I've encountered, I know of a fragrance that smells like it but better. So for me, I'm not the best guy for city rhythms yet. But what we will do is we will be doing a power ranking of best to worst city rhythms as soon as I get all my samples in from it. I've only smelled about 3-4 city rhythms so far, but I want to get the whole line before I give my opinion and weigh in on it. Especially since I'm not the biggest fan of them, I want to have all the fragrances in front of me to give you like really objective information. You ever tried LV Ombre Nomad? Of course, it's a beautiful fragrance, but it is not for small kids. Isola Blue by Roja is my favorite right now. I have Isola Soul, but I think Isola Blue is more mass appealing, for sure. Sorry I wasn't on earlier. I was talking to my mom. Scent of the day, Dracar Noir blend with Armani Black. Okay, I see you, Michael. A great Isola Blue clone is Le Falcon Risala Orthographe. Joel's not lying. That's a great clone. I know a lot of people who own it. Very good Isola Blue clone. And it's hard to get a Roja clone outside of maybe Elysium. SB Scent of the Night, Dior Homme Intense. You already know how I feel about Iris. It's a great choice. I ordered Sahib Intense, comes in tomorrow. Anything to expect? Is it as good as you said? Hey, listen, Michael, you tell me, and you be 100% honest. When you get Sahib Intense in, you tell me if it's good. I want you to keep it thorough, keep it honest. Never hurts my feelings. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong either. But so far, no one's complained about that fragrance to me. Dior Homme Parfum, Noir Extreme, Givenchy Society Ombre, Dolce & Gabbana The One. Oh, David's a 30-year-old. Okay. So his question was suggestion for best signature scent for a guy in his 30s. So you have Dior Homme Parfum, Noir Extreme, Givenchy Society Ombre, Dolce & Gabbana The One, Coral Fantasy. So sweet stuff. You have sweet stuff. I'm going to be honest, Devin, in the vein of what you're wearing, dude, I think you got to step into something like Chanel Coral Mandel. I think you got to step into, yeah, Coral Mandel would be a big jump from your collection. Yeah, Chanel Coral Mandel, Javoy Psychedelic, but I think Coral Mandel is where you got to go next. Because even Psychedelic might be a little grown for you, being in your 30s. I'm going to go Chanel Coral Mandel as your next buy because it will poop on everything in your collection. And I'm sure you don't believe that, but trust me. In your sexy, sweet, executive category of fragrances that you just named to me, Coral Mandel would be a big jump. If anyone else is in high school, the way I make my money is I buy designer frags from discounters and sell them to kids at school. Hey, get your money. Beauty of Scent says, hey, what it do? We here. We was outside for a minute, but we back inside now. What up, Beauty? Good to see you. Beverly Hills Polo Club OG, okay. How do you know what scents to layer? Is it a scent profile or can you layer scents that are different? I'm going to be honest with you. For me, here's the thing. For me, I look at layering in two categories. So, number one, which is the easiest, is to go banger on banger. And that's where you take a fragrance that is already a banger and you overemphasize it. So, for instance, I could take Versace Eros and I'm going to layer it with the Eros oil. This is called what I call mono layering. So you're layering one of one. Another example of this would be Imagination. So if I'm going to wear Imagination, which for me is Sahib Intense, I don't feel like using my travel spray of Imagination ever because I don't need to. But I'm going to go Imagination with the Imagination oil. And that's just to exaggerate a beautiful 3-foot scent bubble. And then I'm going to use the fragrance to project out. But I'm going fragrance on fragrance. You know, I'll give you an example. If you have like 1 million, for instance, you could try to counterbalance it with other ideas, but it just doesn't really make sense. If I'm going 1 million, I'm throwing vanilla, spice, and tobacco behind it in an oil because it's already perfection in a bottle. So why get an oil to build contrast? Now, the second type of layering combo, and again, we're not just talking fragrance with oils. We can talk fragrance on fragrance as well. Oils are typically easier because they sit closer to the skin. They're easier to control how they're mixing with your other fragrance. They're easier to combo, whereas fragrances, you have to spray them apart from each other. You can't spray one fragrance on top of another or you mess up the composition. There's more factors. But the other way that I layer is contrast. So contrast is where you take two opposing ideas, marry them together, and try to get something new. So, for instance, maybe I will take, and again, I'm freestyling right now. I don't want to give you guys any of my combos from my book. But like, let's say I have Zest and Vetiver from Michael Malone, okay? This is a very bright lemon, lime, citrus with a tiny backbone of vetiver, but it's mostly a citrus-forward fragrance, so it feels a little more youthful, a little more juvenile, a little more bright and happy. But let's say I want it to feel like Aventus, where Aventus has that really strong, woody, birchy, smoky base. But this is all citrus with only the illusion of woods in the base from a little bit of vetiver, which is a tall grass that sometimes can come across woody. Maybe I will layer that if I want to go aggressive on the woods. I could put smoky woods under it with something like Aventus Absolute. This fragrance is literally incense and dry smoky woods. So I could put that under this, and now I've given this an Aventus feel, but it's more in the lime direction rather than pineapple. This is working with lemon and lime, but it's the same concept. Citrus top, smoky woody base. If I wanted it to just have a little bit of nuts, but not be too mature, maybe I might lessen the load and go something like Encre Noir a la Extreme, which is essentially just a dry resinous wood without smoke. So if I put that under this, now it has a woody base under the citrus, and it acts more like an Elysium or an Aventus Cologne rather than Aventus Absolute. So that's a way I would contrast in layer to build up a fragrance. So there's a concept of kind of taking stuff that feels juvenile and making it mature, or taking something that's mature. Maybe the opposite is true. Maybe a fragrance like this nobody likes because it's too mature. You know, resinous, smoky firewood. Smells like you're at a bonfire, right? And I want to make it more lighthearted and more fun. So maybe I'll take the Michael Malol and put that on the top of this to make it feel a little, you know, drop the age bracket down on that fragrance. So that's another one, is contrast. And typically what I'm contrasting when I combo there is if a fragrance is too mature, making it feel a little more youthful, or a youthful fragrance to make it a little more mature, find something in the middle, whatever. And then the other layering type, which I mentioned in the ebook, is called accenting. Accenting is taking a fragrance that is already solid and remixing it to give it a different feel. So here's an example. Terre de Hermes. So with Hermes, this is grapefruit, bitter orange, and vetiver. It's a very bright, tart, citric, zingy, sharp fragrance. It's somewhat contrasty because this combo that you're going to see is a little bit unique. So I'll put Baccarat under this. Baccarat oil or a Baccarat fragrance. Why? Because with vetiver and citrus, sometimes it becomes too tart and it's not as mass appealing. It's more on the unique side. It loses its mass appeal because even though there's citrus, it's a very unique profile. Sometimes women don't like Terre de Hermes because it's so unique that it's almost too different. There's no real connection point to it. They don't recognize the bitter orange and the grapefruit, and the vetiver. It just has a bite. There's just so much growl to it. Baccarat is a nice kind of vanillic saffron that smooths and rounds out the grass, rounds out the tart from the grapefruit, smooths out the bitter orange to make it more sweet instead of being bitter orange. And then you just get a smooth vanillic base under that vetiver and citrus, and now you have a fragrance closer to like Amarud's Lunar Vetiver or something like that, or Aqua Allegoria Neroli Vetiver, where the fragrance is still somewhat unique on the top, but it's got this deep vanilla spiced base that is very easy to be addicted to. You know, who doesn't love Baccarat? So a lot of people don't understand Baccarat can be blended with so many different fragrances. I've put Baccarat with ombre leather to make ombre leather a little less serious. I've used it with citruses and grassy and woody fragrances to not make it too mature. So that would be an example of taking an existing DNA and remixing it. So people are used to juicy, citrus, woody, you know, Terre de Hermes. And then that vanilla base changes the fragrance completely because now it's soft, it's not tart, it's mostly sweet, you know, it's spiced, that type of thing. Okay, let's move on. Has anyone, you know, and honestly, Full Metal Racket, to the comment about Hermes being 30 plus, the seller base for that fragrance has always been like 25 to 30. So that's not true. It definitely in the vetiver category for collectors is kind of 50-50, where half the people hate it, half the people love it, but not the EDT. The one most purchased by older gentlemen is going to be your EDP, your Parfum, and your Eau Vetiver Intense. EDT is actually the most mass appealing out of all of them and has sold the most. And the reason why is because it's the lightest. The gripe with Terre d'Hermes for people who don't like it has always been that it's quite aggressive, and the EDT is the lightest form of it. So that's less intimidating than the EDP Parfum or Eau Intense, which is why people who might not like Terre d'Hermes might pivot and go to Eau Givray, or something in that category that's more about citrus, less about vetiver, is more top heavy on juicy fruit. But the EDT is the most mass appealing due to its lightness. Has anyone tried LV Pure Ombre? Haven't in a while. I just got Sacrat. Beautiful, Zhao. How do you like it? Grise Dior or LV Symphony? Symphony. We need that SB Signature Collection line soon if the universe is willing. 2026, I'll say that. You're the man. Much appreciated, brother. Many thanks. Absolutely, Devin. Absolutely. Baccarat Rouge and Grand Soir layered is bueno. I could see that. Vanilla, saffron, buttery vanilla combo. So that would be an example of mono layering, because you're basically going vanilla on vanilla, and the only contrast is that Baccarat has the saffron and Grand Soir has the amber, but those all go together anyway. I got my friend Stronger With You intensely over YSLY for his birthday. Do you think I made the right choice? Ask him. SB, I swear I'm going to have an emergency fund set up so I can snatch up every one of the fragrances you drop. Hey, man. When? I can't say. Let's put it like this. If SB releases a fragrance, wink, wink, it will be very affordable, to the point where I'd be willing to eat the cost to make it insanely affordable to you guys. Thankfully, in perfumery, the margins are so high for profit that I don't think I'll need to do that, but I'm willing to do that to make something that everybody can get their hands on. Best way to layer, in my opinion, is to spray one side of your body and the other side with the other. Okay. I mean, I'm not against that. Any thoughts on Carolina Herrera Chick for Men? I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, to me, if you're messing with Carolina Herrera, it's an okay fragrance, but I think getting Cobalt is always better. That's just my opinion, though. That's just subjective. I have a question. I remember asking how you feel about oils, and you weren't fond of them at the time. My question is, what makes you change your mind? I don't remember what exactly I said. If you can find the clip of me down talking oils, tag me in it, and I'd be happy to account for it and say why. But I don't recall a time where I ever said oils were a bad thing. There might have been a specific conversation where I said something about oils and about the ethics of them and the safety of them. But I don't think I've ever down-talked oils. In fact, if I did, please tag me in it so I can tell you where I was. Because when you say, when did you change your mind? In my mind, I've never changed my mind about it. So I want to see specifically what you're talking about, and then I'm more than happy to explain. Let's see. What up, JN? Should I get Grand Soir? You know, I think Grand Soir is a masterpiece, but in my experience in FragCom, there is a little pocket of like 30% of people who think it's just too much of a vanilla fragrance for them. I hate vanilla as a mono note type of fragrance, but Grand Soir is an exception I will always make. I don't think there's a single vanilla in FragCom that is more buttery, luxurious, and ambery than Grand Soir. I always tell people Grand Soir is not a fragrance that you wear because you think it's the best vanilla. Grand Soir is a fragrance you wear because she will think it's the best vanilla she's ever smelled. Are there any neroli perfumes which are good except the Porto Neroli? Too much money. Yeah, futuristic. Get Aqua Allegoria Neroli Vetiver Forte. Aqua Guerlain Aqua Allegoria Neroli Vetiver. How's that Lalique White perform? I've heard that's weak in projection. It's not weak in projection. It's weak in longevity. It's an office scent. It's not a fragrance that you're walking around sending a scent trail. And I'll be honest, you're never really going to find a citrus fragrance that has sillage. You may find one that has longevity, but you'll rarely ever find a citric fragrance with sillage. That's just not how citrus works. It's one of the most faint notes in perfumery, and you have to do a lot to manipulate and give the illusion of long-lasting citrus. But Lalique White is the best casual / office scent out there. It's my number 3 best office scent, period, in my collection. And the reason why you buy this is not for performance. You buy it because you want to be the best smelling in the room, in the office. Every office style fragrance is really good at one thing. Lalique White incorporates all the best things about a fragrance in the office that you want. You know, in the office, people wear light citrus, light woods, light grass, light spices, light woods. This combines all of it. You know, you have the citrus, you have a little bit of pepper, you have a little bit of woods, you have a little bit of vetiver, you have a little bit of tamarind, you have, I mean, it's just like all the best things in an office fragrance in one fragrance. When you're paying $20, $25 for 100 ml, you really don't complain about performance. All you do is you simply spruce up, hit yourself with like 10 sprays in the morning, and then as soon as you get off work, hit yourself another 10 times. End of story. When you're paying $25, a lot of times you're going to get $25 level performance. Now, there are $25 fragrances that have a lot of performance, but typically it's fall and winter scents. It has nothing to do with anything like that. When you're dealing with citruses, woods, and spices, you're dealing with under 5-6 hours of longevity. So for me, this fragrance sits 3 to 4 hours outside, 4 to 6 hours inside, and I'm sprucing up after an 8-hour shift if I wear it to work. If I'm running errands, it lasts my entirety of my errand running. It's 100 ml for 25 bucks. I'll buy 3-4 bottles. I don't care. I am not in a place where projection and longevity is a deal breaker. If the scent is unique and nothing else smells like it, I am willing to have poor performance. I will use oils. I will overspray. I will reapply. I will bring a travel spray. I'm willing to do anything because for me, I want the best smell. And so that's me. For a lot of people, if a fragrance doesn't give them 8 hours of longevity, they're out of the conversation. I get it. If your money is tight, you can't afford a lot of fragrances, or shoot, if you have the money, but for you, everything has to be 8 hours plus and you don't understand how perfumery works, you know, and that there's just certain notes that will never have longevity, then, you know, to each his own. Everybody's on their own journey. Would Terre de Hermes and Instant Crush be a good combo? I'm not sure, but it's a similar concept as Baccarat and Terre de Hermes, so give it a shot and let me know. I know spraying is kind of dependent on how strong your frag is, but I become kind of nose blind to my frags, so I tend to overspray sometimes thinking there's no projection. What's a good spray count? There's never a general rule of thumb. Never a general rule of thumb. Always do it by feel. Find some people that are around you a lot and ask them if they know how you smell. You know, hey, what do you think about my fragrance? And they'll tell you like, no, I smell it from here. You smell good. Or come here, let me smell that. And you kind of learn what the projection and performance is of your fragrances. I have some fragrances that only require 1 or 2 sprays and they last forever. Diaghilev is one of them. Baranda is another one. Tres Oros is another one. These are fragrances where if I put 2 sprays on, I don't have to touch it for the rest of the day. Then there's other fragrances I feel like I got to spray 15 times. What up, Levi? What's going on, Brian? What up? What do you think about Sauvage Elixir? Great fragrance. I always tell people, if you're 25 and up, go Sauvage Elixir. If you're 25 and down, go Sauvage EDT, EDP, or Parfum. Preferably the EDP to get the most bang for your buck. I've layered Interlude 52 with my Absolute Aventus. I made sure to be light on the interlude. How'd you like it, boss? Let me know. Opinion on the brand Alt. Don't like them. They're cheap. Alt, Dossier, all those cheap. Dua, Alexandria, throw them all in a bucket and piss them off. Those are all starter brands for people who I don't want to say can't afford, but you're the type of person where instead of spending $200 on an incredible fragrance, you want to spend $30 and $40 to get 6 bottles, and you're going to look at them and wear them a lot for a couple of months, and then you're going to go right back on YouTube and Fragrantica looking for new fragrances because they bore you easily. That's not what I'm in it for. All 4 of those brands they have certain stuff that smells good, but nothing like the originals. Have you all seen the new Sauvage Rare Blend, like 16K? Are we serious? I haven't seen it. A real long-lasting piney citrus is I don't know how to pronounce that, boss, but I've smelled that, and that's correct. Same guy from before in his 30s. That suggestion is hella expensive. My budget is $250. Got any suggestions in the $250? Yeah, Chanel's private line sells in 200 mLs. So for $250, you're gonna have to go down to one of these sizes, the skinnies. The skinny is 75 ml. Go down to 75 ml and pay the $250. It's worth it. You listen, you gave me a lot of bangers. So if I'm gonna give you a fragrance that's gonna outclass it, you're gonna have to pay the money. Let me find my test strips. Listen, man, if you don't believe me, go pay for a travel spray or a sample. Go get a sample and wear Coromandel for a day, and you tell me if it's worth the money. Get the 75 ml, bro. Get the 75 ml. You're not gonna need a ton of sprays of it anyway. 75 ml will last you years. Trust me. Trust me. Especially with all the different fragrances you have, you'll pull that out for special occasions, shut the whole thing down. You won't have to bust it back out for another month. Yeah, fragrance is incredible. Not a lot is messing with Coromandel. Trust me. Trust me, Devin. Drop the $250 on the freaking 75 ml. Call it a day. Wait till the holidays. Projection and longevity being a deal breaker will only limit your fragrance journey. True. True story. What up, Sammy? Yeah, I got the EDP as well, but I'm loving this elixir. I can see that. That combo is actually really interesting and unique. Definitely smells like something a rich Dubai millionaire would wear. For sure, for sure. Nice to see you again, Mike. Thoughts on Outlands. Haven't put my nose to it yet. I see all the controversy on Outlands right now and the clone and all that. I don't even want to be a part of the conversation yet. I'll weigh in on it once all the smoke dies down. Everybody's just trying to make content about Outlands right now. It's the same reason I haven't done my review on Midnight Raspberry from day 3 yet, because everybody's deriding on it. I'm not saying it's not good, but everybody dropped their reviews on it a month before the fragrance even came out, and everybody was parroting each other saying it was best fragrance of 2025. I'm not going to come out. Listen, I live down the street, so people are going to know I'm deriding if I come out dropping the review early, giving it high praises. You guys already know I really like the house. I want to give that thing an honest review. I want to wear it for quite a while and give you guys the real deal. I think a lot of people were straight deriding. When you get the fragrance in the mail and you wear it that day and then you turn the camera on and drop a review, that's deriding. You can't say you have the best fragrance of 2025 and you got the fragrance in the mail today. That is disrespectful to the fragrance community. It's straight disrespect. And I don't care who I know who did that. I'm not going to name names because I got love and respect for everybody. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you got the fragrance in the mail, wore it that day, and then dropped a video titled Best Fragrance of 2025, that's disrespectful. That's not clout chasing, but that's algorithm chasing. I'm not going to do that with my community. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I've smelled Midnight Raspberry months before it came out. Did you hear me talking about it? No. I don't deride a brand. I'm going to be honest. When I came out and said, somebody said the other day, oh yeah, guy says Desert Rain is the best fragrance of 2025 when Midnight Raspberry was out. Bro, number one, Midnight Raspberry was not out when I made my video. Number two, some people said, yo, your day 3 video dropped a week before the fragrance came out, so you're just like everybody else. I get that, but you know the difference between that, my video, and everybody else's? Even though I dropped day 3 Desert Rain a week before it came out, I had been wearing and trying that fragrance months before that. I live here. So when I said I thought it was the best fragrance, I really believed that. I'm 4 discovery sets in. I own 5 bottles of it. I've spent time with all of them. I still was disciplined enough to wait months before I even shared my idea. Yeah, to you guys, it might have thought, oh, I got the fragrance that day and then dropped a review a week before, deriding and saying it's the best fragrance ever. No, bro, I've been trying that fragrance and talking about that fragrance for months before. I just didn't tell you guys. I live down the street. That's different. Midnight Raspberry wasn't even out yet. So that's why I'm waiting. I'm looking at Midnight Raspberry right now. You know, I was joking with you guys earlier. I said, hey, look, I have Midnight Raspberry, but this is my Tres Oros juice. It just, the oxidation turned it to the same color as Midnight Raspberry. So I was joking with people. But, you know, I have Midnight Raspberry, and I'm just waiting until everybody's 2025 best fragrance videos get out of the way so I can be honest with the community about the fragrance and really get under the hood and give it respect and due diligence, especially since I've spoken so highly about the house. I know that it's super important that I thoughtfully and thoroughly prove why I think a fragrance is special or why I think a house is special and back it up. If I just drop a 5-10 minute review on a fragrance, it looks like deriding. I just refuse to be a part of that. I'm doing well. Let's see. No complaints. Good. I've been looking for something like Whispers in the Library or maybe even something with some autumn cafe vibes. Got any recommendations that aren't unreasonably priced? Shady, I'm surprised in liking that fragrance you didn't try Memoirs of a Trespasser from Imaginary Authors. You know, you can get that fragrance for like $70. Is it 100 ml? Use the light. Yeah, I think it's 100 ml for $70. Might be like a 75, 88 ml or something like that. Honestly, day 3 has made too many bangers. I'm going to go broke trying to cop them. Understandable. Do you have any old batch of Bois de Portugal? No, I only have an old batch of Royal Oud. I genuinely don't think you need to care about batches with Bois de Portugal, because if you have this fragrance, Lalique Pour Homme, then you have kind of old batch Bois de Portugal. And if you have Mercedes-Benz Intense, you have new batch Bois de Portugal. And both of those fragrances, I think Lalique Pour Homme, with the horse, I think you can get that for $20. And you can get Mercedes-Benz Intense for $20. So for $40, you can have old batch and new batch of Bois de Portugal. You never even have to buy the fragrance. Thoughts on Chanel and Antaeus Vintage Splash? I haven't tried that. I haven't tried that. Let's see if I want to share something before I sign off. Okay. I need some level of reception in here. If you guys want me to give away one hint about the 4K giveaway that's taking place this Saturday, I need ones in the chat, and I'm not sharing it unless we at least get 10. That's I think 10's reasonable. Less than half. If we get 10 ones in the chat, I will tease the nature of the giveaway that's coming up this Saturday, and you guys will be the first to know. I'm just curious. I know there's not that many people in here. I'm just curious. I want to see what the hype is. If nobody drops it, trust me, I'm happy. I'm staring at the giveaways right now. When is the new PDM redesign dropping? I haven't seen or heard anything lately. I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. I got to see 10 though. I'm going to be such a Nazi about it because you guys are getting information on it early. I'm going to be a Nazi about it. It's got to be 10. No big deal. No big deal. But I'm going to tell you right now, you guys thought last giveaway was cool because we gave three or four fragrances to what, 12 people. I shipped out 12 packages. Nobody paid for shipping or nothing. We shipped out 12 packages last giveaway. This giveaway, we're only shipping 3 boxes. 3 people are going to be kitted TF out. And it's going to have a very unique theme this year. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8. We need 2 more. I'm going to be a Nazi about it, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, that Coral Mandel's still ringing. Can't double up. Joel did it. Joel took him over. Okay. All right. I'm glad you guys got this information because nobody has it yet. So, I'm going to give you guys 2 hints about the giveaway. Or two bits of leaked information about the giveaway to build your anticipation. So number one, instead of 12 winners of smaller fragrances, we're only going to have 3 winners. And those 3 winners will be getting what I call collection bundles. That is tons of bottles, oils, and collection sets. So basically with these 3 winners will basically get a mini collection. And they're going to be so hype about it because, imagine opening a box and getting a buttload of fragrances. So that's number 1. Because last time was about quantity, right? Let's have 12 winners. No one's ever done 12 winners. And you know what? We're not just going to give them a sample or a travel spray. We're going to give them all bottles. Everyone's going to get a bottle, a travel spray. Everyone's going to get a regular fragrance, a cologne, whatever. No. This time, there's only going to be 3 winners, and they're going to get a collection. And the caveat to that clue is that for the first time ever on this channel, there will be 2 male winners and there will be 1 female winner. Because I have 2 men's bundles and I have 1 women's bundle. I specifically have been looking at my algorithm And so I have specifically curated a woman's bundle for the women only of my channel to have the opportunity to win SB's recommended women's fragrances. So that's the first clue. Let that marinate. The second clue or piece of information to this giveaway is the theme of this giveaway. Last time we made sure every winner got a designer fragrance, a niche fragrance, and a clone. All 12 winners. For this giveaway, I wanted to truly give away something that you guys are incapable of getting on your own to some degree. So for those of you guys who don't know, I have for the last 4 months been on a, not niche, I have been, but for the last 3-4 months, I have been shopping and curating vintage only. And so that is the theme of this giveaway. I am giving away vintage fragrance collection bundles. The only thing that I'm going to do to make sure that there's still a modern component is that a day three complete discovery set will be given away in one of the bundles. So there's modern. There will be a replica collection bundle that will go with a collection, and then there will be a 4-pack of 35 ml travel bundles that will go out with modern fragrances as well. So that's the way for me to keep it modern. All 3 winners are going to get modern fragrances to some degree. One person a day 3 discovery set, one person a replica discovery set, one person a 35 ml travel bundle. But then behind that, the entire theme is vintage. So behind each of those 3 gift sets, there will be a buttload of vintage fragrances, most of which are sealed. So you guys will have the option to look on eBay and see how much they're going for and sell them for buttloads of money, or have some nostalgia on your shelf and have crack open some vintage fragrances to have in your collection. So the theme of this giveaway is vintage. There will be 3 winners of vintage fragrance collection bundles. They will be shipped out in boxes of this size. So hopefully this speaks to the size. You know, it's bigger than my head. I have one of the biggest heads in the game. I believe this box is 10 inches, 10 by 10 by 10. So each giveaway will have a 10 by 10 by 10 box full of vintage fragrances and some modern. And so you will literally be able to fill one of these shelves in your own collection with fragrances. I wanted people to feel really special. You know, it's hard for people to acquire bottles and save up money and get fragrances. You're going to have so many fragrances that you can sell some and get more money, or you can have some vintage, you're going to have some modern, you're going to have a mini collection to put on your shelf and enjoy. So the idea is, yo, let me give a guy like, 6 to 8 fragrances that he can enjoy. Just a fragrance abundant smorgasbord. And I added oils as well. So people are going to get fragrances, sealed, collector sets, travel combo sets, oil kits, the whole 9 yards. It's going to really be something you guys have never seen before. And trust me when I say it took me like 5 months to build these winter bundles because I wanted them to be like drop dead insane. The estimated retail value on them is about, sorry, I'm just looking at them, each bundle is probably worth somewhere between $150 and $200 per bundle, which is a lot for vintage. So again, you guys can keep some stuff. You could resell some stuff on Mercari or eBay for lots of money, because since you have sealed vintage, you know, you can resell it on the open market, get that money, and then go buy a niche fragrance. You'll be able to do a lot, but I highly recommend you guys just enjoy the fragrances, because I've curated the best of the best for you guys, and you guys will have stuff in your collection that no one else has. But if you care more about the money, you can do whatever you want with it, but it'll all come in 3 giant boxes like this. We'll pick the winners on Saturday. I'm gonna drop the announcement video tomorrow or Thursday with very specific instructions. And then Saturday, we're gonna do a live stream, and you guys will be able to win it. So I hope you guys are excited for that. I'm always trying to do something different. I'm always trying to make these giveaways, you know, look big and luxurious, and not, you know, I don't want to be one of these guys that comes out and gives away 1 bottle to a group of thousands of people, and it's like, you know, your chances of winning are low. I always want to give people stuff that nobody else is giving you. So I'm really excited to do this giveaway. Michael Paul has personally donated the only full discovery set of Day 3 fragrances, which includes all the new releases. And I personally decanted my own Desert Rain to make sure that that kit is complete. And so that's really awesome. And we've got other stuff as well. So thanks to Michael for that. He's always looked out, always just been a super upscale guy. I have some really dope content that I can't speak on that'll be coming out in the vein of that conversation that no one will have. So it should be a cool way for you guys to get some really, I want to reward people who subscribe to me, meaning I want to provide content that nobody else can. And so just because this is a small channel, I want you guys to feel like very underground with this channel. Like, yo, you're a part of something underground that nobody knows about yet, that is providing stuff that Gent Sense could never show you, Ross could never show you, Bowtie could never show you, EQ could never show you, any of these guys. So I work on my channel very diligently. That's why I drop every single day. If you guys noticed today, I dropped a live. I dropped 2 lives. Wait, I did 1 live tonight. I premiered a video. I dropped another video, and then I dropped 4 shorts. So we did 7 videos today. That's the level that's the capacity that I work in such a small channel. So if you guys are into fragrance content, I strongly believe that this is where you want to be. I'm not some parrot that sounds like everybody else. I'm honest. I'm actually out here putting my nose on everything walking. This is an open community where if you're a beginner or an expert, you're going to get good content that helps your journey. And I want to reward people for rocking with me. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to lay down the blueprint of what we want the community to look like. I've been taking all the community feedback and seeing what people don't like about FragCom, and we're rewriting the books. All right, guys. Suggest me a man's fragrance woody like CDG Wonderwood, but better. I've never heard of that fragrance. I never heard of Wonderwood. Sorry. What time is the giveaway? The announcement for the giveaway with those details will drop either tomorrow or Thursday. Yo, SB, what's a scent that made you instantly think that whoever made it was a genius? Coromandel. Chanel's Coromandel. That's a utter masterpiece. L'Instant de Guerlain Eau Extreme or Eau Intense. Masterpiece. Patchouli Memory from Ex Nihilo. Masterpiece. Yeah, I mean, I can name a ton of them, guys. A lot of fragrances that I have, I feel, are masterpieces. Bulgari Man in Black, masterpiece. Casamarati Mephisto Gentili Uomo, masterpiece. Vetiver Sensuel, masterpiece. Diaghilev, masterpiece. You know, there's a lot. But anyways, guys, I bought Oud for Greatness Neo, and it doesn't last or project. Why? Because it's Neo. Should have went with Oud for Greatness. Should have got Oud for Greatness, bro. Now, what you could do is get yourself an oil. So like something like this. You could take an oil like this and just dab up with it. Then put on your Oud for Greatness Neo, and it should last all day. So definitely consider getting an oil and throwing that under the fragrance, and you should be straight. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. This Coral Mandel for winter. Fall, winter, and then spring, summer, nightlife. Highly luxurious, though. Definitely get your nose on it before you buy it. You may be too young for it. Do older batches age like wine, or do some ingredients just degrade no matter what? Yes and yes, Cash. Ingredients have something to do with it. Oxidation has something to do with it. But generally, fragrances last a long time. You know, like even when you see this bottle used to be clear. Now it's pink. The fragrance smells the same, but oxidation made it change colors. The fragrance smells the exact same. So a fragrance can change but still smell the same, if that makes sense. I'll give the layering combos, put that, copy paste that in my country, or in my comments, country. But yeah, guys, I'm going to head out now. I'm super sorry. I'm just tired, and I don't like being live unless I'm awake. So put your comments in, put your questions in the comment section below. I will answer them by the morning. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, I drop videos every single day. I've been doing that for almost 2 years straight. Giveaways coming up, the 4K giveaway. We're going to do the giveaway whether we hit 4K or not, because I owe you guys for the 3K giveaway. And we got a lot of great content coming. Thank you guys, obviously, all the time for being in here, because I would not be live unless people were in here. Joel, thank you always for your moderation and your help and consideration. Really appreciate that. And until next time, guys, I hope you have a blessed rest of your week, because it's only Tuesday, man. We got a long way to go. But take care, guys. I'll talk to you.